Okay, so now we're going to be getting into this next line starting at measure 8. And you can see I've drawn in some things that I want you to be aware of. We have these three notes, the A, B, and then the C. And you don't really need to worry about the tie. We're going to get into like how this works rhythmically in just a moment. What I want you to notice is just the direction, okay? So from the A, our first note, it just moves up to the next note, which is B, and then up to the next note, which is C, and then we're coming down to the next note, and then down to the note we started on, right? So we have this sort of like we're going over the mountain pass, right? We're gonna start at the bottom, we're gonna go up over the mountain, that's up to the C, and then we're gonna go back down into the valley, that's where the A is, where we started. But then we have another climb up the mountain to B again, and then to C again. And from here, we are going to go back down, but the note is longer. So for now, we're not going to consider that part of our practice. We're actually just going to be focused on these two measures first, because in my mind, once you get to this C here, you can kind of see like really it's just the right hand and you have one more note to play in the left hand there in the next measure. It's not nearly as difficult to coordinate. So we're really just going to work on those first two bars. And once we get that, we can start adding the other stuff, okay? All right, so to the piano. I am coming from the two chords that we played earlier, chord number 1, and then pivoting to chord number 2. And these bottom two notes are the notes that I'm going to be playing for measures 8 and 9, which is the D and the E. All right, I'm going to be starting on the E and going down to the D and back. And you can just rotate your hand back and forth between that D and the E. And if you like, you can even practice just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's exactly what's going to happen in the music, is there's 2 bars of 6 counts, 6/8 notes. The left hand is going to be playing these 3 notes, A, B, and C. And so I've got my hand just lined up with C with my thumb, that's middle C, and I've got the A and the B right there next to it. And I'm literally just going to go up to the C, back down, and then back up. Remember, we come back up to the mountain, and we're going to end on that C. So practice that for a moment, and don't worry about the counts for now. We're just going to go A, B, C, back down, and then we're going to climb back up one more time and end on that top note, the C. So once you feel like you've got that pattern where it's just going up and then back down and then back up one more time, then we're going to put the hands together. And here's what's going to happen. Your right hand is doing these 2 notes. Your left hand is doing these 3 notes. And the timing of this is going to be a 1-to-2 ratio. And what that means is for every note I play in my right hand, I need to play, for every note I play in my left hand, so starting on the A, I'm going to play 2 notes in my right hand. So it's going to look like this. All right, so you can see I'm going back and forth between the E and the D on each of the notes in my left hand. So one way to practice this is to say the words together when you play the hands together on the first note. So the A starts with your E in the right hand. And then you play the second note in the right hand, which is your D. So that's a together, right. Then your left hand's going to switch notes. We're going up to the B, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Together on the E, and then down to the D. That's the right. Then do the same thing as we go up to the C in the left hand. Together, right. Okay, now we're going down the mountain. Together, right. Back down to A. Together, right, and then we're going back up the mountain one more time. Together, right, and then together again on the C. Okay? And you can just start to practice this together, right, back down to the A. And then we're going back up until we get to C. And you can just stop there on the C, or you can play one more note in your right hand like you've been doing, together, right. Either way is fine. You just want to get used to that. So once you've got this part, you're going to want to start to continue from what you played previously. So going back to the music for just a second, you'll see the two measures that we played here with our chord number 1 and then chord number 2 were these two bars, which is in the music, that's bar 5 and 6. And there's actually one more bar here before we get to this part that we were just practicing. So that bar there, though, it's just the same thing we were just doing in the right hand, where you're going E to D. Right, so, but you can just think of that as like a transition measure. So after you do your chords, chord 1, I'll go back to this view so you can see both at the same time. So chord 1, chord 2, and then I'm going to do one bar of just the back and forth between these two notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to be coming in with my left hand. Together, right, together, right, together, right, together, right, together, right, together, right, ending on the C. All right, so you can start to practice the continuity from what you were doing previously all the way to this point in that, what is that, bar number 9 or 10. So take it slow, practice them separately, get it to the point where you can do both hands very easily and without much struggle, without thinking about it too much. Don't focus on the page. Focus on what you're doing at the piano in your hands. And once you feel comfortable with that, you'll pretty much have it memorized and you won't really have to refer to this that much. And then you're ready for the next step and we'll move on. So good luck.